All right, welcome everyone. I'm here to talk about the truth as to why you are not successful in trading and why you're not profitable. I'm not going to be talking anything about strategy because if you're watching this video, you probably do not need any more talk on strategy or to watch strategy videos or anything like that. That'll probably just mess you up further. So, before we get into it, I'm not going to be showing you any notes. I'm just going to be talking to you guys straight from up here. But I would like everyone to see this, so I am going to post it publicly for you all. But we're kind of going to get deeper into psychology and some things that 90% of you guys are missing. And what you do need to work on if you want to be successful, because you're never going to be successful. So before, honestly, I'm not even going to talk about like stop over trading, stop revenge trading, like blah blah blah. I could say that all day long and you're not even going to listen to me. Maybe you'll listen to me tomorrow and then the next day just go straight back to it. So we're not even going to touch on that. What we're going to touch on is why you keep doing it and why you can't follow your rules no matter what you do. You just can't seem to follow your rules. Number one, you are not disciplined. You are not a disciplined person. In your life, you're not disciplined. You probably don't go to the gym very often or exercise or get outside. You probably watch TikToks and Reels quite often instead of, doing your homework if you're in school or practicing trading. You probably wake up 5-10 minutes before the market opens and quickly do some analysis and then hop in random setups and trades. But why do you do all of these things? For what reason? I can name a couple. I don't know why. Everyone else, it's different. For everyone else, it's different. For me, I've always been slightly more disciplined in kind of all aspects of my life, even with school, even with, getting exercise and going to the gym. I've always been disciplined in those ways. So that wasn't really my issue, but that is an issue for very many of you guys. My issue is I wasn't treating, trading as though, not that it wasn't important, but I wasn't thinking about it in the way where I thought I had to put my entire full effort into it. I was like, trading is easy enough. It'll just click one day if I just, continue to kind of do this. You can't do that. You can't just say trading is going to click one day if you don't put the actual deep work in. And what I mean by deep work is not, telling yourself, oh, I'm not going to overtrade today and I'm not going to over leverage today. That is part of it, but that's not the deep work. The deep work is getting into why you're doing that. And this is going to be the most difficult thing you will ever have to do in trading, and it'll really, really make you take a long and hard look at yourself and who you are as a person. So, before you do something like that, really mentally prepare yourself, because there is always a much deeper reason as to why we are doing these things. And normally our brain wants to block it out because it is not a good thing that we do these things. It is not a good thing. It is not a healthy habit. It's not something that we should be doing. And we know that. So our brain kind of blocks it out. And, we start to not see it and, not recognize why we are doing what we're doing. I could simply say you're revenge trading because you lost a trade and now you want to go back and make the money. That is kind of the top layer to it. But what's the underneath layer to it? Are you greedy? Can you not handle losses? Because a massive part of trading is handling your losses and how you handle those. Why are you doing those things? What emotions are you feeling that takes over and you're not able to control? This is why you're not successful, because you won't do the deep work that is required to become successful. you can say all day long that trading will be easy eventually. I just have to get the hang of it. And that is something that is true, I would say, about strategy and strategy wise and charting. One day you will just kind of get the hang of that stuff, but this you won't. And this is 1000% always going to mess with your trading if you don't understand yourself and why you do the things that you do. Like, why? Why are you not following your risk management? Why are you constantly taking random setups? Why do you do these things? Are you really just not confident when you're trading? Are you really greedy? Do you constantly think about the what ifs and, what if I had this or X amount of money? What if I made X amount of money today? Like, why are you doing those things? Like, what is making you, do those actions? For what reason? And that is where you really have to dig deep at yourself and think about it. And think about who you are. Maybe get into some childhood trauma. I don't know. But you have to really dig into something like that. And it is so difficult to do because that is quite literally evaluating yourself as a person and picking apart what exactly is like not working for you. I'm not going to say what exactly is bad about you because there's nothing bad about you guys. There's just some unhealthy things about everyone. We all have them. I still have them. I'm not perfect. But that is something extremely difficult to do because we do not want to think of ourselves, poorly in a way that we don't want to think of ourselves as this aspect of me is unhealthy. We kind of want to see it as, oh, most of it is good, so I'm not going to focus on that. That doesn't exist over there. It does exist, and it's very real, and it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Once you start even making money with trading and you are becoming profitable and maybe you've conquered some areas of your psychology and managing those emotions and anger and stuff like that. But once you start making money, then it's a whole different level. It's a whole different thing. What, are you a greedy little monster gremlin now that you've made money? Who are you? So once you also become profitable, then you also have to take a look at that as well. And doing this is really difficult and will basically change your whole perspective on yourself and, everything you kind of thought you knew about yourself. So I'm going to warn you guys right now how difficult it is, but, that is the reason why you guys are not successful. You may think, you're just kind of stuck and lost and you're like, well, I have my rules and I tell myself not to overtrade, but it doesn't matter if you don't figure out why you are doing it and what the reason behind it is and, why you can't control yourself when it gets to that point. Then you're not going to be able to fix it. You can write down your silly rules all day long. They're not silly. I'm sorry. They're not silly. They're great rules. Please continue to write them down. But if you just can't follow them, then it doesn't really matter because obviously day after day you're still writing them down and it's not working. You need to change something. And I could say for 95% of you, I'm sure you don't need to change strategy or learn a new strategy or learn something else. That's not what you need. You need real talk. You need real, self-evaluation and to really think about who you are as a person and just evaluate your emotions and how you feel and why you do the things you do and what makes you do them. And stop focusing on money, for the love of God. You guys are so, everything is money focused. Even for me sometimes it gets so difficult. I always, I'm really consumerism final boss as a girl. Being a girl, it's really hard. I know guys, they don't care as much about material items besides like cars and stuff like that, which I love cars as well, but you know, all the designer bags and shoes and stuff like that, I've really just had to, calm myself down and really not get too much into that consumerism part of it, and then think about like, oh, if I had X amount of money, I could easily just go out and buy this bag or whatever, just as you guys probably think about, cars or golf clubs, I don't know, whatever whatever you guys are into. But it gets to that shiny object syndrome. That's what it is. You guys all have that. We all have it. We inherently have it living in this society that we live in right now. And you keep thinking about the what ifs, but what if I make, $2,000 today and tomorrow, and then I could buy this thing at the end of the week? Stop. You don't know what you're going to make today or tomorrow. Just go with the flow. Enter your trades like you're a fucking robot. Enter your trades like you're a robot, and you're programmed to enter at a specific price point. When price breaks this certain level, you're set to enter there. Your take profits are set at this specific level, and your stop losses are set here, and you're a robot, and that's all you know. And you're just going to take that one trade that day. It might turn out well, it may turn out bad. You either may hit your take profit, you may hit your stop loss, and that's that. That's that. But when you start doing those what ifs and you're like, what if I make this much money, and what if I can do this and stop. Think about right now in the present, and think about the past and what you've been able to accomplish and do differently from who you were yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago. Think about that. Don't think about the future and, what if I make this and then can do this or get this. Stop. That's messing up your whole mentality. But I don't want to make this video too long. But my basis as to why you are not successful is because you won't do the deep work and look within yourself, which is required to do if you want to actually get better at stopping, your revenge trading and overage trading and over leveraging. If you want to stop all of that, the only way you can do it is you figure out why you are doing it and what is programming you to do this. Why? Everyone has a reason. I named at least 5 of them. So figure it out. But anyways, hopefully I can really reach out to some of you guys and help you guys who are struggling. I know a lot of traders are struggling right now. And last year's bull market, made a lot of new traders, and I've been seeing, you guys really struggling recently with the current market conditions, which is, again, perfectly normal, but completely understandable. I totally get it. It's very difficult to trade through right now. But anyways, hopefully this video really helps you guys. But if you guys ever need anything or have any questions, you know where to find me. And yeah, thank you all for watching.